How are you? Oh, good to see you. Joy sends her love. She said if I saw you, to be sure to tell you.
Resting.
Glad you're up. Yeah, she is. Yeah,
Let's heat something out.
Yeah. And how are you doing?
Everybody can make their way to a seat, please. I would normally say don't hold on, but that would have to be opposite. Everybody can find their way to a seat, please. Miss Kelly. Miss Puffy Kelly. She's oblivious.
You said that and Linda turned around.
Yeah.
She's in another world.
All right. Thank you for coming out tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our council meeting. Roll call will reflect that all members of council are present with the exception of Councilman Powell, who is vacationing in Alaska, poor guy. He sent us a video of a moose encounter today. The moose wasn't after him, the moose was after vegetation. So he seems to be doing well. I'd like to this time call upon Councilman Michael Rammond to deliver our pledge, if you wouldn't mind doing that, Michael. And the Reverend Paige Pritchard, who I reluctantly hate to say this will be her last invocation to Paige. I normally know where you're sitting, but I've lost it. Would you have our invocation? My mother didn't save you a place. Please remain standing for the invocation after the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Reverend Pritchard.
Let us pray. Gracious God, thank you so much for this wonderful town and the people who live in it. We ask now your blessings and wisdom upon the proceedings tonight, that all may be done for the betterment of this community. We ask this in your holy name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. Have a seat. Who is our representative from the Service League that's going to be making our presentation?
Yeah, they do.
Debbie Settle, Alan.
Debbie? Okay. We have our Service League presentation of the Frosty Smith Scholarship Award.
Yes.
And Debbie Settle will,
Do I go forward?
preferably, I'll give you a microphone.
Okay.
You can sing. Sing a song.
Okay, can y'all hear me now?
No.
Turned on. Okay, now?
That's
Yeah. Okay. My name is Debbie Settle. I'm on the scholarship committee for the Service League. Myself, Melinda, and Debbie Martin. This year, the Service League is proud to announce the winner of the 2015 Frosty Smith Memorial Scholarship. And it goes to Rocio Zaragoza Santa Cruz. She lives on Northside Drive with her parents. She graduated from Tri-City High this spring. And she goes to Georgia Tech in the fall. She wants to be a civil engineer. And her scores were wonderful.
No jacket.
Her scores were wonderful, and she just seems to be a very fine young woman. So that's to let you know. Now, I have an award. She didn't come tonight, but I will give it to her later. Okay?
That's cool. We appreciate the fine work that our Service League does. This is something they do every year, and it's awesome that we get to recognize outstanding students here. So thank you very much, Debbie. We've been talking for a number of months now about a charter school petition that a group of citizens in Hapeville, including Councilman Ramlin, Charlotte Rance, David Burke, Dr. Rast, Sandra Maldonado, sorry, Sandra. And then let's see, we had Cynthia Miller and Trina Queen and Dan Young. And we've been working together to make a presentation for a charter school to be located in the Josephine Wells facility. As you know, Fulton County Board of Education closed their Cleveland Avenue administrative offices and moved that to Sandy Springs. In the process of doing that, they also consolidated all their operations from other schools, and the Josephine Wells facility was being used as a staff support facility. So they've actually taken and consolidated all those, and that's opened that building up. And Fulton County put out a charter petition several months ago for a charter high school whose purpose was to increase the test scores in the South Fulton County area. We met with a consultant who had some knowledge and expertise about putting together a charter, and we heard a variety of different ideas from him as to what we should do. And then we came across a partnership that has bloomed into something more incredible than I ever could have dreamed. And that was a partnership with Atlanta Metropolitan College to do a college prep, really top-notch charter school. We've been working with them for a number of months. We've had quite a few meetings, even on Sundays. We've had several Sunday afternoon meetings that have gone for hours at a time. And it's been a labor of love, but they've just been fantastic folks to work with. But Dr. Jeannie Rast has taken the lead on a lot of this, and I'd like to call upon her to introduce our folks from Atlanta Metropolitan College here tonight. We also have Catherine Maddox from Fulton. She's a board member of Fulton County Board of Education. Thank you for coming. Dr. Rast.
Well, actually, said everything.
Oh.
So, as Alan said, we met as a founding board, Michael Ramlin. Actually, I don't know if you remember, when he ran for council, one of his visions for us was to have a high school again in Hapeville. We actually met even before the request for petitions came out. And we were kind of floundering, didn't really know where to start. And so we met, Michael, myself, Charlotte Rance, Alan, and David Burke met, and we found a consultant. We added 2 more members, Sandra Maldonado, who's in the back, and also Cynthia Miller, who's a lawyer here in Hapeville, if you know her, and Dan Young. So if you don't know a lot about charter schools, and I found out when I spoke about this, the Rotary Club, a lot of people don't really understand what it means. I'll give you a very brief overview of that. A charter school is a public school. And it's a public school that kind of operates like a private school. It's run by a board, and a board can either manage the school itself, which we did not want to do, or you can hire a service provider. KIP Atlanta is some example of a service provider basis. And the way it's funded is the county gives the money they receive from the state for people to the school, and that's how the school has an operating budget. And then they keep the state portion of that. Everything the school does has to meet the requirements of Fulton County. So all the graduation requirements, all the testing, the lunch program, everything that the school does must meet the requirements of Fulton County. So even though it is a charter school, you still operate under the auspices of the county. Usually you have to have an idea that fits a particular need. And I'm going to let our guest here, Dr. Gary Magaha from Atlanta Metropolitan, President of Atlanta Metropolitan College, and Mark Cunningham, Director of Mission Effectiveness. They're going to talk to you about the need that we'll be fulfilling through the program that they've written and come up with. It is true, and I know a lot of students don't realize this, you can have enrollment priorities. And so one of the big things we were very adamant about was we wanted Hapeville students first. So we have an enrollment priority of our zip code, 30354, Fulton County 30354. Once that's filled, if it's not completely filled, then it goes to the Tri-City area. It's not filled but after that, and it would be 150 kids starting the freshman year and adding a class of 150 each year. If the enrollment's not filled after that, then it would move to all of Fulton County. So that's the way we set up our petition, so that the Hapeville children would have the first choice, so to speak, of attending this charter high school. As Alan mentioned, we started in August trying to explore possibilities of what we might do. We got a consultant recommended by Gary, who started at Hapeville Charter Middle School and at the Career Academy in Union City. He brought us a lot of different ideas, but in the meantime, Fulton County posted an RFP, or a request for a petition. So as Alan said, the Joe Wells facility became available, and they asked for petitions, which was great for us, because then we not only had to come up with something, we had a building that was empty, and we had a county that wanted it. We researched a lot of models, a lot of different service providers, we talked to a lot of different people, and then finally we were blessed, and we do feel it is fate, to have met with Atlanta Metropolitan College in November. The actual petition itself was due in January, so quick turnaround. But we put our initial petition in January, and I'm going to let Dr. Dr. Cunningham tell you what it says in just a minute, academically. And then after that, there's been a lot of rewrites, a lot of resubmissions. And now we have the final version before Fulton County right now, and it should be decided on in June at the June board meeting. What the petition asked for specifically was this: a school that would serve College Park, East Point, Hapeville, that it would go along with their goals of improving graduation rates and increasing college and career readiness. And so whatever petition you filed had to show that it would meet these needs. They wanted a creation of a school that had enhanced school culture and strong student performance. And then, of course, that the petitioner would be located at the Joe Wells building. So I'm going to let our gentleman from Atlanta Metropolitan talk now about what we submitted in terms of what we think will meet these needs and what Fulton County is considering right now.
Thank you so much. Good evening. I'm Dr. Gary Magaha. I'm president of Atlanta Metropolitan State College, and delighted to be with each of you this evening. Atlanta Metro is one of the 30 institutions in the University System of Georgia. We're governed by the Board of Regents. We were founded in 1974, and we have the same accreditation and membership as UGA, Georgia Tech, Georgia State, Clayton State, all the schools in the system. But we are an access institution in that we really focus a great deal upon getting students who are ready for college, and particularly those who maybe come from underserved or diverse backgrounds. And we have a great history with doing that. We have high quality academic and baccalaureate degree programs that work very, very well. But we are especially excited about this opportunity because what it does is it answers a question and it solves some issues that our entire nation faces in terms of college readiness. Many students finish high school with high school diplomas, and good transcripts and come to college and don't do well. Because there seems to be a bridge or void between what transpires at the secondary level and what's expected at the collegiate level. And we spent a great deal of time working on that over the years, and this is an opportunity to really, we think, do something in Georgia that's never been done before. This will be the first charter high school actually operated by a university system institution. And our goal here is to be able to really take young people at the beginning of the high school curriculum, high school years, and move them forward and graduate them from high school with 2 years of college under their belt already. And we intend to do that by focusing upon a very strong STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics curriculum, and be able to make sure that they understand and master the core subjects very, very well. We spend a lot of money as a nation on learning support, developmental studies, or trying to help students get up to par. To give you an example of that, if you look at our wonderful Hope Scholarship Program, which is certainly the envy of the nation, 70% of the students who get a Hope Scholarship lose it by year 2. And that's because all are not ready. Well, what we intend to do with this program is literally fill that void and solve that problem and create a situation to where we will take youngsters, and this will be a 12-month-a-year high school. What we will do intrusive testing, advising, and placement, and move them forward and make sure that they've mastered those skills beginning in the 9th grade and 10th grade. And by the time they are 11th grade, literally have them take a full cadre of college courses so that they will finish high school with associate degrees. The issue of remediation and not being prepared will be solved because we will be that block during the preparation. We've had some experience with this over the years. We had years ago a prep program that did a great deal of that. And I see a colleague here who was one of our prep parents at the time. But this is a great opportunity. And the chancellor for the university system, who happens to be from Hapeville, Dr. Henry Huckabee, really sends his support of what is going to transpire here. And the idea is to use this as a model that can really be expanded and duplicated as we go forward. And to have youngsters in our community stay in our community because they're getting those experiences and they can take those skills and talents back to benefit what we do in the community. And that's what we do. There's some information here about the college, about our general profile, when we were founded, we are fully accredited, the impact we have on the community and so forth, our student demographics, what goes on there. We transitioned from being a non-traditional junior college or 2-year school to now a baccalaureate degree granting institution. We actually offer 7 baccalaureate degrees along with 40 associate degree programs. And a great deal is happening, and we are both an impact and an opportunity school because 95% of our students happen to be Georgians and local residents. That means a great deal because when you look at most of the school, if you take away the out-of-state and out-of-country students, the student body looks very, very different. But much smaller. But for us, we are the impact because we are educated youngsters who are from here. And we are growing quite a bit. We've had an 85% increase in our enrollment over the past 6 years. And the average age has dropped from about 28 and a half, 29 to now 19. We are a first choice school because students now see they can come to Atlanta Metro and literally get a high quality education at a low cost and transfer if they like or stay in the background degree. But the idea here is to be able to have the youngsters from Hapeville be able to really get a good education and stay in this community for a bachelor's degree if they decide to do so. Our faculty is very strong. It's growing quite a bit along with other things in the institution. That's an older number there. It says that 6% of the people have doctorates. In most of the divisions now, it's about 85%. We have contracted people who will come to increase that number, who will be with us beginning in August of this year. But a lot is happening, and Dr. Mark Cunningham, who is the Vice President for Institutional Advancement, who is an organic chemist by training, is who wrote most of this, and a great deal of the brains. He is clearly an unusual colleague and a tremendous vice president, and he will explain, I know we kind of push for time, he will explain the actual proposal itself, what it consists of, and what we intend to do.
Thank you. Good evening. I just wanted to go through a couple of points. I think I'll skip over this slide, because it's just a lot of what the President just indicated. I want to share with you the curriculum of the Hapeville Academy. What you see there, starting from the top, maybe a little hard to read from the back, but it's the standard math, science, and English courses, and social science courses, as well as foreign language, fine arts, and health physical education. So those first top courses satisfy state requirements. But they're very competitive. We did a lot of research on other charter schools in the state and other public schools in the state. And this curriculum holds up to any of the other schools that we researched. So we're very proud of that, what we call the curriculum that satisfies state requirements. It's just when you move down to this level when it gets very exciting for students. What you see here is what we call a seminar capstone presentation course. This school will focus on careers. There'll be a big focus on student careers. What we find in college is a lot of times students come to college their freshman year and they don't have a clue what they want to do, what they want to major in. So the research shows that if you start earlier in a student's career, then they become much more successful in college. So we've embedded into the high school curriculum a lot of activities that lead students towards a career as early as the 9th grade. So we start determining what career do you want to pursue. And then we built into the curriculum various courses and activities that support students, not only support them, but give them exploration into different careers, and then support them along that path. So what you see here is the capstone courses. There will be internships and research projects for students. And we have a faculty of, including adjuncts, about over 120 faculty. And the faculty is committed to mentoring the Hapeville Academy students. They're very excited about that. The Atlanta Metro faculty is very excited. So, so then you have the junior and senior seminars here. Each student at the Hapeville Academy will have to attend the junior and senior seminars. This is to prepare students for internship activities. We want the students to be very competitive statewide. So they're going to participate in a lot of competitions, so to speak. So we want them to be very competitive. You see the robots and all those things on TV. So we're going to blow TEG and all those high schools that, you know, so we're going to blow, hey, we'll blow them out of the water. Then if you look down a little further, you'll see the elective options. And this is where we include the internships. Students will have an option to do either internship or a research project. And this is not just a normal internship. This internship will give them credits. They get credit hours for the internship. And it will last their second, it will start their second semester junior year, and it will end their first semester senior year. So they have 1 year, so to speak, either an internship or conducting a research project. So a lot of them will spend a lot of time on the college campus. They'll become very familiar with the college life, and it'll be very, very easy for them to then transfer. And as the president indicated, get an associate's degree. That's the goal, is to get them very comfortable with the college campus and to get an associate's degree. And it's not uncommon for students to get associate's degrees before they finish high school. So that's the goal. So then you have internship programs. Here's where you have STEM electives. You have a lot of you're going to have engineering classes and robotics and alternative energy, nanotechnology. A lot of this technology will come from the Atlanta Metro campus. We have faculty who participate in a lot of these publishable research activities. So they're very excited, faculty, to have Hapeville Academy students to come on campus and really learn about these very cutting-edge type research projects. We have things like digital design and media and computer programming courses. So this half of the curriculum basically defines the STEM focus of the high school. And the top part will satisfy all of the state requirements. So we're committed to satisfying the Georgia Department of Education's requirements. That's first. We're going to take care of that first. And then this is just icing, this bottom part, internships and other things, just icing on the cake, if you will. And as you can see here, it's a total of 24 units. This is a slide that I thought you'd enjoy looking at. It's just an example of the kind of summer activities that Hapeville Academy students will participate. We have connections with all of the major research facilities in the Metro Atlanta area. So we want to introduce Hapeville Academy students to these opportunities. So for example, some students may do internships at the CDC, for example. They may do internships at various of these these partnerships that we have with partners in the city. This is an example of a STEM project, and we focus here on the various STEM projects students will be participating in. These are just, there will be laboratories at the high school. We're not going to ship students away to other laboratories. We've built that into the budget, so they won't have to leave Hapeville to participate in chemistry labs and biology labs. But a lot of them will be on the Atlanta Metro campus. A lot of you have heard about dual enrollment programs and dual credit programs. So a lot of them will be on the Atlanta Metro campus, but they will also have that facility in the Hapeville site. And here is just an example of a speaker series. We're going to take advantage of all of the resources in the Atlanta Metro area, bringing in a lot of different speakers, professionals from a lot of the colleges, Emory and CDC, and all the great resources that we have in the Metro area. So we're going to have various speaker series coming in during the summertime, so it'll be some play during the summer for students. But they will also have an opportunity to take courses as well. The real, I think, uniqueness of this program, it's a very rigorous curriculum, as you saw, but we have a very strong academic support structure as well. We understand that all students coming to the Hapeville Academy won't have the academic skills that they initially need. So as strong as the curriculum is, we have an academic support structure to help those students, to catch them up, if they're behind at 9th grade, to catch them up. And then we have what we call a co-requisite program, so that if a student falls behind in a course, there's a academic support structure that they can take advantage of to make sure they do a good job in the course. So it's co-requisite because it goes along with the course. They can get help outside the class at the same time that they're taking the course. So we're very proud of that real kind of bifurcated structure, if you will, with the program. So this is the goal. This is the end goal, is that students will make it to this point. Either they will choose a STEM career or an applied STEM career, depending on what their goals are. They start from of course, satisfying high school requirements first. We make a big point of that. We're not going to sacrifice the high school requirements. We want all the students to do a very good job with that, but then they build their way up to college admissions, and then they can take one or two, or they can go any other path if they wish. So the curriculum will prepare them particularly for these two paths, because STEM jobs are at the top of the chain, as you know, in terms of students getting high wages and very competitive careers. So we have the STEM careers and applied STEM careers. The difference in these two is the applied STEM careers are those that students pretty much go directly into after they get a 2-year or 4-year degree. The STEM careers of these students who might want to go even beyond the 4-year degree. I want to go to law school, pharmacy, or some medical school, and so forth. So that track is different for them as well. So there's something for everyone, and that was the whole goal in the curriculum.
We'll take questions after that, Michael.
When you first have a child, oh, sorry. Okay, when the child first comes to your program, do you do some diagnostic testing right away to see whether they're okay with that as far as academically?
Yes, we do initial diagnostic. Any students coming in from the 8th grade, we're gonna give them the complex diagnostics. That will include math, English, and reading. They will undergo diagnostics that first summer before they enter the 9th grade. We will provide remediation or intervention at that point for that summer, depending on the level of remediation that's needed. Some students may need a workshop, 2-week workshop. Other students may need the full summer. So we got a kind of triage of remediation activities. But we don't stop there. Students won't get it in one summer. We've been around long enough to realize that. So we have what we call prerequisites courses throughout the high school career of a student. They can always go back and get additional help as they need it. We will have what we call pre-post tests in each class to make sure that students not getting lost in the process. So we'll know at the beginning of every math, English, and reading course whether or not that student is going to where they need to be just to be successful.
Let me also add that that testing would be very intrusive and thorough. Clearly, we want to have students come as soon as they finish the 8th grade, spend that summer with us, where we can do the comprehensive diagnostic testing, the intrusive advising, the placement, the whole 9 yards, so that we can put them on track. And this is the beginning of the baptism that will go on throughout the time that they're in high school. The end goal here, as Dr. Cunningham has pointed out, is to really have 85% of these students finishing high school with 2 years of college already under their belts. And you save a lot of time, money, and clearly catapult the student ahead quite a bit in terms of getting their career off and running. Majority.
Actually, this is question to you, during your presentation. I think that you mentioned that Hapeville students would be a priority in terms of enrollment in the school. 30354, do you not have a split zip code with Atlanta? 30354 is the code of Atlanta. How would that affect enrollment?
Well, this is a Fulton County school, so it has to be Fulton County 30354. So Atlanta students with 30354 would not qualify. They could not go there. It has to be Fulton County students. I feel like a talk show host.
Yes, sir. In the event of the students, I guess the feeder middle schools that would be coming from into the program, is correct?
Yes.
That's correct.
All right. And in terms of how many students are you needing to draw the first time around, how many students do you need to draw, and will it be coming from these middle schools? And is there a structure? I'm asking you, Julia, I'm going to ask a question that.
The capacity is 150 students per class. We would start with 150 students from the 8th grade to the 9th grade class. And we will add a class each year up through the senior year. And we're talking about a total of 600 students in the end at the high school.
All right, just one further question is that in your recruitment efforts to get the students from Hapeville, but I understand you're saying that 150 of those students will come from Hapeville first year, is that correct?
It's a choice. So if you want to go to a charter high school, then you apply. We have an admissions process. So if you want to go to a charter high school, then you apply to go to a charter high school. So yes, we would like as many students from the South Fulton area to be in this charter high school. So if we don't get enough applicants from the Fulton County 30354 zip code, then it moves to the Tri-City area. And if we still don't have 150, then it moves to all of Fulton County. That's very different from like the current charter middle school that's hosted at the Methodist Church, that's housed at the Methodist Church, because that's just anybody from Fulton County. And then what happens is you're just in a lottery, and chances are not really all that great that you're going to actually be able to get into that school. And that's why we were so adamant about an enrollment program.
thing to say, and then Travis.
Yeah, Jeannie, I want to add something to that, because I think sometimes people look at those two schools and add up how many people are there. But our goal is that this is such a school that if you're paying $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 a year to send your kid to a private school, that you can save that money for something else. And that we're going to have people coming that are presently going to other schools, as well as I think sometimes we forget about the school you work with. I think we can get to 150 easily, and then there's some kids that are homeschooled that would be moving into this. So it's much broader than just looking at 2 schools or 3 schools.
I was a product of a similar program at Georgia College called Georgia Academy in Math, Engineering, and Science. University of West Georgia, there's the Advanced Academy as well. Fortunately, I was going to private school before I went there, and so I decided to delay or defer my hope for 2 years. So I didn't have hope for 2 years until I got to Georgia Tech, so I could do a dual major for my undergraduate when I got there. That decision was primarily made on the fact that Middle Georgia College was cheaper than my private school. So my question is based around this: if students are not paying but receiving an associate's degree by the time they're getting out in 12th grade, from a financial aid perspective, once they're going into a 4-year college, if they so desire to do so, is the credits that they've earned while at the Hapeville Academy going to count against their qualified credits for OPE eligibility?
Not at all. Not at all. At one time that was the case, but the state made a smart decision not to let the leaders start to run with your HOPE dollars. So the classes that you take as a dual enrollment, early college or move home and ready student while in high school, they don't count against what happens with your HOPE dollars at all. And it would be very easy for a student to transfer to any accredited school in the nation if they decide to do so.
They'll have 120 credit hours.
Precisely.
I just want to make this one other point. When Dr. Gaha said this is unique, there are a lot of schools and high schools where you can get dual enrollment in college credit, but this will be the first high school that's actually run by a college, where that Atlanta Metropolitan State College will be the service provider. That's what makes it unique, and that's what makes it first one in the state of Georgia, and really the entire college system is watching to see what happens here.
Oh yes, they are.
Oh yes. We're being scrutinized.
I had a question about the 12-month time frame.
Sure.
Is it going to be running on Fulton County's like 9-month system as far as days off, and then it's just like they're adding in summertime, or is it like Henry County where it's school year-round and then they get like a 2-week off between each quarter? You know what I mean, as far as the time goes, you know, for vacations and stuff for your kids.
There'll be some similarity to both of those, but this is unique and different altogether.
Okay.
We actually will set this up to where there are intervals where there will be breaks during the school year, but the idea is to make sure the continuity piece, which often get lost for many students at the end of summer, does not happen.
Right.
And it would be a way to put some practicality into the academic pieces that we've gotten during the year for those who can benefit from that. But for others, it may be a time to do more enrichment. But the idea is to make sure that there's a full academic curriculum here with rigor, where at the end of the day it's been mastered. And we will tweak and adjust as we need to, but the idea is to make sure that we're giving them that experience so that they will be ready. Atlanta Metro enjoys a tremendous record that we haven't talked about a great deal, but we do a lot of things with Georgia Tech, a lot of things with Georgia State. As a matter of fact, in terms of percentages, Atlanta Metropolitan State College has sent a larger percentage of students to Georgia State than any other school for years. It just hadn't talked about that. And they do well. We do some things with Georgia Tech right now also. As a matter of fact, we're offering courses, some pre-calculus courses and some other math courses for Georgia Tech on our campus this summer at their request. And we have an agreement with them where we do Calculus 1 and 2, Calculus 1, Calculus 2, and College Algebra on the campus with them as well during the year. So our kids who go to Georgia Tech perform as well in many battles as those who start at Georgia Tech. So what they do will really make sure that they're on track, and that's our goal, more than anything else.
I'd like to ask a question. From the middle school students that will be applying to the charter school, are there any restrictions such as, I mean, you know, their GPA, you know, their level? Is it make sure there's no child left behind? Or are you looking for students that are excelling to transit and go into the charter school? Okay. Just want to make sure. Yeah.
You heard the answer. No, we don't.
I have a question. I teach ESOL at the local elementary school, and I know that in this neighborhood there's a high population of English learners, and I'm just curious what your plans are for that population of students also.
Can I add one thing? What's really interesting, because one thing we had to do was look at a lot of demographics of the area when we were putting together the petition. What's really interesting is what a high level there is of ESLO kids at Hapeville Elementary, but not at Tri-City High School and not at middle school. No, Aldi West. So we were all going, where did it go? It was very interesting when you look at the demographics overall, how different, you know, the feeder schools are from the Hapeville population in general and from Hapeville Elementary. So that's not answering your question. That's just an interesting tidbit. You want to speak to the academic platform?
We anticipate ESS students, and we built that strong academic support structure in place for that purpose. I don't have the day-by-day periods of the classes, but if you were to look at it, you would see that there's a period, 6th period, designated, set aside just for example, if there's an ESL student who needs that extra support to get them up to speed in the language, that 6th period is dedicated specifically for that. Or if there's a student who needs math support, we're not going to, well, everyone can't stay after school for extra math. There may be a problem, a reason why they can't stay after school. We built a period in the day, within the class, within the day, so that students get extra support. So yes, to answer your question, I can easily envision that 6th period that be dedicated to the ESL students taking English language courses to build them up to speed.
I'm just wondering, you mentioned that many students will spend a good bit of time on the college campus itself. And so I was just wondering, they'll be using resources, the lab, various things. Will funding follow from Hapeville Academy to Atlanta Metro College, or like to cover some of those expenses?
No. The dual enrollment piece is the same for all the state. And a student who comes to a dual enrollment course will simply go to that college campus and have the dual enrollment paid for by the Excel program. But there's not funding in terms of the dollars that we get per child that will follow that student if they take a course in dual enrollment. No, that's not the case. That's the way that the funds will go to the actual high school itself. But a dual enrollment student, regardless of where they come from, they participate if they meet the requirements, when they meet the requirements in the Excel funding piece, the same way in the school we do that. But no, that's not one where the dollars that we get from the school system will follow that student to Atlanta Metro because taking courses there. That's not the case. Okay.
And you know, we haven't won the petition yet. We're going to, though, right?
Pardon?
So we're still waiting on that.
Yes.
We haven't been awarded the petition yet. Right. We're still waiting. Informational session.
But we're internal optimists.
But
yes,
that's why we've invited everyone tonight, because we want you to share. If you see the enthusiasm in this that we see, we want you to share that enthusiasm with your school board members and let them know just how important this is, because this is trailblazing stuff. When Chancellor Huckabee calls in the Board of Regents between Christmas and New Year's to a called meeting to discuss this proposal, that lets you know how high up in the food chain this thing has gone. And this, I tear up when Dr. McGaha starts talking about his passion about this, because this is uncharted water for us and can really be a game changer for this community.
And it'll be the first step in education in this community.
So please, Captain Max, I'll ask her to say something in a moment, but she's here representing the board tonight because our board member couldn't come. I invited the superintendent, Kenzef, as well, and he was unable to attend because of previous commitments. But we want to echo down the line with the Board of Education just how supportive we are. Okay, we got it.
Sorry, I was just going to ask, I know this is the base, but are there future plans for a middle school foundation school? It seems like if there's children feeding into the school, there needs to be, to go further ahead.
That's what I meant when I just made that comment.
Okay.
Yeah,
This
We're
is
gonna
our
start
first
here.
step.
got to start here.
Right.
And work our way
It's our
backwards.
first step because they requested the petition. So that's where we went first. But yes, once we win this one, we have plans for something else.
We asked to do both, but they advised us to do one at a time. It makes sense to start with the middle, but
they put out the request for the high school.
But the RFP was for a high school, so we needed to take the opportunity that we had to seize that, and especially with the building, the availability, the size, everything just fits. One of the things that for me, I'm not an expert educator by any means, however, one of the things for me is that I feel like these mega schools that we're seeing, especially in the high school world, that we're sending our children to with 1,500, 2,000 students, I think the children get lost. I really think they get lost. And I've been saying for years, and I understand Fulton County's position because it's an economy of scale with them. But I really believe that when we lost, and Michael said the same thing, when we lost our community schools, we lost a part of our soul. And we can't get it back. It's not the night lights that we had in the 70s. We're never going to go back to that day. But this is the closest thing we're going to be able to do to actually having our own schools in this city. And it's just really exciting.
John, right before your comment, I wanted to say something. You can take Mike's, John, but also we did talk to other service providers. Every one of them turned us down because they said we cannot succeed starting at the 9th grade level, and they were afraid to put a stain on their record. These people embraced it. It's like that's what they want because that's what they do. They didn't like they want to start doing that. That's what they already do. They know they can do this. And that's why it's so exciting. They're dealing with people we know if they can do this. And they want to do it and they're our neighbors. Yes, John.
Sort of tag along, but I want to say, I know for a lot of us that grew up here in Hapeville, a huge part of that heart and soul was music and athletic programs. And so my question is there a music program or athletic programs that go along with all the academics?
Not at this time. Not at this time. That may be something that we will visit later on. Clearly, there will be broad-based cultural instruction that's provided. But we need to make sure that we're successful with the fundamental pieces so that once they finish with us, they are ready. They either have a degree or they are prepared to acquire one. And we want to make sure those things are there. The athletic piece would be costly at this particular stage. We need to get this started. When you look at the budgetary pieces associated with this, it's incremental. And you do this the first year for a foundational standpoint. And by the time we get to year 3, we begin to see some flexibility. But this is concentrated in the time clearly on the high-quality activities. High-quality activities. That's what it is.
And one thing is, you have to, if you want to win the petition, you have to address the needs that Fulton County put out there. And the biggest need in this area of the county is graduation rate. Its graduation rate is very low. I can't put it on top of my head. I know I put it in the petition, but it's like 65%. It's very low, and that's what the county wants to see, is a school that will speak into and address that. And so that's why we have this
Let's take two more questions.
Well, sir, sorry, I don't mean to beat a dead horse. I worked in the Upper Mountain program for about 17 years, Morehouse College. And of course, I know that Atlanta Metro does have an Upper Mountain program. And a lot of our recruitment came from the middle schools, the feeder schools. A tremendous amount, you could almost tell about how students are going to do through the middle school experience, particularly in the 5th and the 6th grades. So this is my question. It was centered around the middle schools that you're going to be drawing from in terms of, is there any pre-help that you give a student in the 6th or 7th grade for people who are possibly matriculating to Hapeville Academy?
Yes. Yes. Clearly there will be relationships with those schools. They just are not part of what the petition asks us to focus upon. There will be relationships with those schools. We do that right now with many of the schools we work with. We actually have 8 upward bound programs at Atlanta Metro at this particular time. And we send kids all over the place to literally be peer mentors, and we send instructors as well to do a lot of things to help prepare the kids to get the pipeline stronger. But for this petition, we're focusing on the high school because of what it calls for. But yes, there will be relationships there, and at some point, we can look at that later on.
All right, one more question.
It's just a broad question. I mean, what's our next step as civilians?
Oh, that's exactly what I was going to say. What do we want for you? Why are we all here tonight? We want you all to let Fulton County know that you're behind this petition, that you're behind this public school, that you think that this is what our community needs, that our children are going to want to attend, that the community of Hapeville embraces this idea. That's what we want from you. We want you to email your Fulton County board members. Email your Fulton County board members on the Twitter site. Right, on the Fulton County website, there's all the names of all the board members. We would like for you to email them, tell your friends to email them. We took a stack of letters from the Hapeville community in January that we filed with the first petition. That this is the deciding 2 weeks right here, and we'd like them to all hear from all of us.
Jeannie, the only other thing that I would like for one of these gentlemen to talk about is there's the misconception by many people that your success in academics is based on your socioeconomic class or your ethnicity or something like that. But you gentlemen have worked with all this and know that to be untrue. And I didn't know if you could address that, because we feel sure that Hapeville's children can succeed no matter what their background is.
And that's why we chose these guys and not all the other service providers we talked to, because they believe that as well.
I've been working in higher education for more years than I care to remember. This is all I've done really since 1976. And I actually came to Atlanta to have Bill Morehouse School of Medicine, was there 10.5 years as such, and went to Atlanta Metropolitan because I thought it was time to get back. And I learned that you're not your circumstances, no matter where you come from. If you have a willing desire and you have the proper instruction and you push, pull, part of that required to get you to push forward, you can do that. And we see that every day from youngsters. We've had students graduate from Atlanta Metro who were honor students who were homeless, but they had a desire to learn, and they did. And they did quite well. And we see that every day with students that we get. We have ways of doing this on our campus, through our boot camp with pre-MAC that we'll use our intrusive testing, our foundational program. But clearly we see this every day, and this is a way of providing an opportunity for all, but clearly making sure that the academic pathway has been cleared so that we can really get people onto it. And that doesn't happen a lot in high schools. We see kids all the time from all types of backgrounds, not just low income, upper level backgrounds, where they simply have not been taught. And they'll come to college with a nice looking transcript who can't do the work. And they've been pushed along for whatever reason it is, or who they were, whatever the case may be, they can't do the work. This will answer that problem and that question, and literally resolve that issue. And we see this all the time. We had a young lady tell the story. regularly who came to us from a local high school that I won't name last year, who had a nice looking transcript, and when we gave her our compass diagnostic test, she had a 7th, 8th grade aptitude in math with a nice looking high school diploma and good grades on the transcript. And we would say you're not admissible, but if your parents are serious, we'll put you into our inclusive pre-med program, which Dr. Cunningham created. And we do one of these courses at a time, a month at a time, 4 hours a day for a month, and see where you are. And that young lady went in with a 7th grade aptitude in mathematics, and a month later, she was doing pre-calculus, doing well in school. She had not been taught. Somebody wants some money.
I would have a question, Dr.
Yes.
You mentioned something just in your last comment about the parents. What will the high school's, I guess, expectation of the parental units be? Is that going to be like mandatory PTA and expectations that you do the homework with your children?
The parental piece is very important. If you don't have parental support to augment at home, what we try to do at school is not going to work. And that doesn't mean you have to be a Rhodes Scholar parent. It's just that you show that you care. And what's nurturing. And you come to those meetings that we have so we can talk about what you need to do at home to create the environment so that this homework can be completed and things of that nature. So yes, the parental piece is very, very important. We wouldn't bear Texas without that. And we see a lot of poor parents who care as well. And they have to come in and do something, and they do, and it works.
Thank you. Those guys are rock stars, and once again, I say thank you to the entire board of volunteers that have put in countless hours. Dr. Cunningham's on his third set of fingers because he's been talking so much. So, a lot of long hours and a lot of